to No Gentle Trophy. My name is Brian Griffin. I am going to talk about mental health and running away from problems and moving back home and stuff like that there. So I've had more than one person ask me why I'm running away rather than staying and fighting the current regime. Yesterday on Instagram, I shared this story, which I'll pop up there, about my impending upcoming move to Canada and the stress that's going to be on my mental health. And I had two people who know me for a long time express surprise and perhaps doubt, say that they perceive me as a highly functional, got it together, successful person who has moved frequently, including across the border, and wondered why I suddenly was anxious. And so they're two different things, but they are connected, they are intersectional, as we say. So I'm going to talk about them. Have in the past appeared to be a functioning person, and I have been functional, but just functional. And to be that functional, I masked virtually everything except for my sexual orientation from birth. And I have blog posts about my mental health journey. The one called Prenatal Trauma might be a good starting point for people who want more of the backstory. After being laid off in 2008 at the height or depth of the depression, I started looking for other work, and then I decided to look at the many family secrets, the unspoken things, the whispers of things happening, and looked at some of the successes and failures in my life and started really unmasking. And so I'm still in that process. It is a long-term process, but it is happening, and it's to the point now where progress will only happen while I am open and raw and fully exposed. That, first of all, will be helped immensely by moving back to southwestern Ontario. My two sisters and all of their descendants are there. Our brother is probably going to move back at some point. And one of the many blessings I've had is that even when I came out in 1978, fully loved and accepted by family. So they've always been there for me. And as is so often with families, they not only know me, they know the secrets and the whispers and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the moving back is a mental health thing, and it's different than when I moved here. One of the things that I remind people is that I am at least the fourth generation that I can prove of a family that lived back and forth across the border. Many people in the past moved from one country to another, some people multiple times. But it's a family thing. It's the story I grew up with. Mom was born in the States, moved to Canada. Her mother was born in Canada, moved to the States. Dad's mom was born in Canada, raised by a relative in New York State in 1900, sort of thing. So it's part of a story. And so it's not as big a deal. When I moved down here, it was like I needed to get out of Toronto. After a decade of the HIV/AIDS explosion in my leather, fetish, kink, and gay communities, I had to get away from the ghost. So I moved down here, clearly then with the intention of retiring back some long distant day, and 30 years later, it's becoming that time. So that's the move. The move was not just a reaction to the current regime. Current regime is certainly adding stress to getting back there for my mental health, if nothing else. Now, as for staying and fighting, I've been a fighter. I've been, as I said earlier, I came out in 1978. I moved back to Toronto. I joined groups that were fighting for basic civil rights protections for what we then called sexual orientation. And then, of course, a few years later, HIV/AIDS exploded, and so we were fighting for other things. So I've been there, I've done the fight, and sure, some of it is I don't want to do it again. I've been there, done that, and but I could stay and fight, but that wouldn't. In order to do that and be effective, I would have to mask up again and close in and protect my soft inner shell, and I'm not prepared to do that. I need to, at some point soon, meet the real, genuine me that I've never known because I masked from the moment I popped out for reasons explained in the blog. So that's why I'm not staying to fight. That's why I'm moving. And that is why this move will be infinitely more stressful than the move down or any of the other moves. To answer I thought you were fully functional. I fooled you. And I got through. But one of the things I realized is how much I avoided being an artist. I worked supporting artists. I sold art materials, worked with art college kids and professional artists, but didn't do my own art. The HIV/AIDS exploded, we were fighting, and art was less important to me personally than going out and doing things. So I really want to discover that person, that Brian that I never knew. And so to do that, I can't stay here. I need to be back with family. And that's going to be incredibly stressful. Even when I was masking, I was pretty much a detail-oriented person, which is why it was photography, because it's detail, it's focus, it's quote-unquote the truth in front of you, all that sort of stuff. So now I'm totally open, raw. We got my husband's permanent residence approved significantly faster than we were told to expect, which is wonderful, but also stressful. Trying to save what we could in spite of the world blowing up and prices going up and gas now, etc. So there's been a lot of stress. I'm not worried about the outcome. We will be there. We will be in Canada. I've mentioned on my blog before that if fire and rain came down and we had to go to the vet, get the paperwork, get the Merrick's shots, and then take whatever we could fit in the car and go, we would do that. I mean, I am a survivor and I will survive. But I really would like to have something a little less than pure panic survival mode to operate in. So yeah, that's the story behind that post, or that story. That's the story, the story behind the story on my Instagram, and answering those people who want me to stay and fight. I have to be there. I need to be there. I want to be there. My husband loves my family loves my husband, so we're going. And that's all the reasons. So, as I said in that story, kind thoughts, prayers, calming thoughts, all that's appreciated. Thank you for listening.